Hello and welcome to Trish Polish. I'm Trish and my goal is to swatch as much of the nail polish in Japan as I possibly can. If that sounds like something you'd also be interested in, please consider subscribing. If not, that's okay too. It's still nice to see you. Today we are trucking right along with the next 5 polishes in Pompompurin's polish line. Alliteration, folks. This set is a tad more subtle than the first 5 polishes that we looked at, and I think instead of leaning more like autumn-like, this set leans more earthy. You'll see what I mean in a minute, and I'm curious to see what you think about it. But first, Friend Nail is a Japanese nail polish brand. They are sold exclusively at Daiso stores here in Japan, and they are broken down into 10 polish sets, and each Sanrio character gets their own set of 10 polishes. Here's a link for my review of the first half of this collection, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. So I'll talk more about the polishes as well as my opinion on the whole set after the swatches, but first, I've kind of rambled on enough, so let's just get into the swatches.
First up today, we have the shade Moss Green. Okay, so hear me out. For lack of a better descriptor, this shade is a pea green creme, and it is glorious. It is slightly sheer in the first coat, but did any of us expect a one coater? Nah. So I filmed these swatches like ages and ages ago when I had bad breaks on my middle finger and ring finger, so that explains the sudden shortness in fingernails. I do apologize for that, but please just ignore it. In the second coat, this polish does come to full coverage, but again, keep in mind that my nails are super short here, so that might have helped. I really like the shade of this one. I don't feel that I have another polish that's in this color. In my experience, in Japan anyway, we tend to get lighter green colors that either lean towards lime green or they lean towards khaki. But this one is it says moss green, but it's straight up split pea soup, and I love it for this season. I feel like you could do some really fun nail art with this one. It's a great color for Frankenstein, it's a good zombie skin tone color, and it's also a nice background to just slap some bats over. And not just for Halloween, but in general, I really do like this shade. It quite possibly borders on ugly pretty territory, but I'll let y'all duke that out in the comments. What do you think? And here is Moss Green in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up is the shade Dark Green. So I feel like this one is almost more of a jelly leaning formula than Moss Green. It doesn't read to me as a creme, but that's okay. Also, I kind of feel like they just gave up on naming this one. It could have been a Christmas green, it could have been a mistletoe green, but they were just like, nah, it's dark green. But hey, you can't accuse them of false advertising on this one because it is exactly what it says. And also because of the formula, it is really sheer in the first coat and it's actually see-through, so I was hoping that in the second coat I could build it up to full coverage, and I was sort of right. You can definitely still see some of the squishiness, and honestly, if I could have seen it from this angle, I might have actually gone in for 3, but you know. And again, if you've got longer nails, you're probably going to need more than 2 coats on this because it is a really, really thin formula. There's not really a lot to say about this one. They delivered on their promise of dark green, and yeah, there it is. Personally, I don't love it, but I really don't hate it. It just is what it is. And I feel like we would need to be extra careful of staining on this one. I didn't keep it on long enough to check, but I'm pretty sure this one would do your fingertips in. And here is Dark Green in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have Indigo Blue. In the bottle, this is a beautiful fall blue. It is perfect for this season, and I 100% expected to love it. However, it has the same formula as Dark Green, so it went on a lot more patchy and a lot less creme than I thought it would. So you can see in the first coat it's super patchy and streaky, and I had really high hopes that in the second coat I would be able to fix that, but I can honestly still see bald patches even in the second coat, so I'm really not impressed with this one, but it's still a beautiful color. But hey, I'm not going to complain because the polish was $1, so they can't all be bangers, right? I do wonder if it would go on better if the brush was replaced though. The brushes on these polishes are the really, really hard unbending plastic that kind of goes sometimes wild at the end. So I'm thinking if it had a normal brush, that would help. But honestly, it might just be the formula. I don't really know if this one is savable, but the color is so pretty that I almost want to try. Recently, and I don't know if it's because of the season change, but I've found myself super drawn to these kinds of blues, so kinda sad about this one. And here is Indigo Blue in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have the shade Spice Chai. So I don't know if any of y'all are chai drinkers, but this one looks just like a chai tea latte from Starbucks. And yeah, chai tea. Essentially, in the bottle, this one is a cool-toned creme beige polish. But on me, it tends to lean a little warm because I am warm-toned, so... Personally, I'm not really a fan of the way it looks on me, but I think it would be a great neutral shade on someone else. Formula-wise, though, it's much better than Indigo Blue. The first coat is a little patchy and sheer, but then in the second coat, I was able to get full coverage. Now, again, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, my nails are super short here. So I don't know if you had longer nails, if you would need more coats. My guess is yes, but you know, long nailed people already know that, so you don't need me to tell you every single time. So in the second coat, I thought that it started to look more cool and more like it was in the bottle, but definitely on that first coat, it leaned a little warm on me. I'm probably going to run out of things to say pretty quick on this one because there's really just nothing incredibly special about it. It just is what it is. So here is Spice Chai in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Last up today, but in no way the least, is Ginger Spark. This one is a rose gold full coverage glitter polish. The glitters are all micro glitters, so it gives off this super sparkly effect. And it almost glows, like this shade is so beautiful. And you can see here in the first coat that the coverage on this one was really impressive, like especially compared to the last 3 polishes, like you could almost get away with this in 1 coat, which is dang impressive for a dollar store glitter polish, let me tell ya. So basically the formula is fantastic on this one. And aside from that fantastic formula, this color is just everything. It is so gorgeous. Literally, if I had my way, everything I own would be this color. It is the perfect rose gold. It is so stunning, and I'm obsessed with it. I did go in for 2 coats to see if I could build up the depth of the shade a little bit, and I believe I do like it in 2 coats better than just the 1. Do you see how it sparkles? Do you see how it shines? This polish is magical. Plus, the name Ginger Spark is just super cute. I can probably forgive them for Dark Green for giving us Ginger Spark because if they used up their creative juices on making this name, then Dark Green is forgivable. I just love this color so friggin' much, I just kinda wanna live in the polish bottle. And here is Ginger Spark in 2 coats with a glossy top coat.
So what do you think? Did you prefer the full-on autumn vibes of the first 5 in this collection, or are you more of an earthy tone kind of person and prefer the last 5 in this collection? Which do you prefer, and which one out of this set of 5 was your favorite? Leave me a comment down below and let's have a chat about it. Personally, I feel more drawn to the first 5 because I think I mentioned in great detail that I am just a really fall-loving person. That includes fall things, fall colors, fall everything. But that does not mean that I did not have favorites out of this set of 5. Actually, to be honest, I had 2. So first up is Moss Green, because is this not the perfect pea soup green nail polish? Like, I know that's probably the worst way to describe a green nail polish ever in the history of descriptors, but it looks like pea soup, which is so on point for the season, I just can't. And also, I feel like with the green nail polishes that are a little lighter, they tend to either go neon or olive. And this one is like somewhere in the middle, so I think it's a really pretty color, which could almost fall into ugly pretty territory. What do you think? Anyway, I love it. At number 2, do y'all even know me if you thought I wasn't gonna say Ginger Spark? I mean, come on. It is the perfect rose gold, coppery, glittery, wonderful goodness, and honestly, if I had my way, everything I own would probably be this color. It's so pretty. I mean, look at the sparkle. Okay, and then remember, this polish was $1. Is it not perfect? It's perfect. So I talked a lot about Pompompurin in the last video, so again, if you haven't watched that yet, be sure to check that out. But really quickly, he is a golden retriever who always wears a cute little brown beret. His dream is to become even bigger, and he dislikes being told to stay. That's freaking cute. I kind of want to squish him, like just cheep. He's so fluffy. There's so much fluff. Here's some more information about the polishes themselves. They do come in these little tiny 5ml bottles. And as I mentioned earlier, they are sold exclusively at Daiso stores nationwide in Japan, which puts them at 100 yen plus tax, which is about $1 per bottle. So that's gonna be all from me today. Before you go, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. And if you'd like to hang out and talk some more about Japanese nail polish or, just nail polish in general, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and y'all have a good week.